Um, I want to inform you about the results of a poll. I commissioned a poll conducted by Ipsos Mori, that is one of the leading polling institutes of the world, and it's about the image of capitalism. And of course, before we had a lot of other polls, but usually only with one question. For example, do you like capitalism or not? But we did something different. We confronted our respondents with 34 statements. And one of the reasons is we know that even the word capitalism has a negative connotation for most of the people. And it's a sturdy word for a lot of people. And we wanted to find out how much has it to do with only the word or what the word actually means. And this is the reason why first we confronted our respondents with six statements where we didn't use the word capitalism. These were statements as, for example, I'm in favor for minimum and maximum wages, and prices should be prices should be set by the state, or I think that social justice is more important than economic freedom. So different statements you see here, these six statements without using the word capitalism, to find out what people think about free market. And the result here, you see the ranking. We calculated the average percentage of positive pro-market and negative anti-market statements. And then we calculated a coefficient, pro or anti-capitalism coefficient. And here you see the results that the people in Poland are most in favor of free market, followed by, and we have here United States, Czech Republic, South Korea, Japan, even Argentina. I come from Argentina. I was there 11 days. After this, I understood why it is this way. And here you see Sweden. These are the countries where people are more in favor of market economy if we don't use the word capitalism. But in addition to this, we confronted our respondents with a lot of other questions and statements. For example, we asked, when you hear the word capitalism, about what do you think? About progress, or about corruption, or about climate change? Positive and negative words. And then we did as well the same to calculate the coefficient to find out whether people are more pro or anti-capitalist. And then we confronted them with 18 different questions about or statements about capitalism, positive and negative statements. For example, capitalism is to blame for hunger, for poverty, for climate change, or positive statements like capitalism means economic freedom. We had 18 different statements. And again, we calculated the coefficient, and to come out here as an overall coefficient of attitudes toward capitalism, here all we have included here all the results from the first set of questions where we didn't use the word capitalism, and from the second and third set of questions where we used the word capitalism. So you see here the order is similar but not identical to the first slide here. Sweden is one of the neutral, we call them pro-capitalist countries as Poland, United States, South Korea, Czech Republic, neutral countries, Argentina, Sweden, Brazil, and then anti-capitalist countries as, for example, France, of course, and Spain, and also Chile was one of the anti-capitalists. I'm speaking about what people think about capitalism. It's something totally different from, for example, the Index of Economic Freedom, what is about the objective structure of the country. And so even we could calculate the effect of using the word capitalism, and two results. Of course, this is not surprising. In most of the countries, the people were more pro-capitalism when we didn't use the word. But it's not only about the word. On the contrary, this would be good, then we only have to change the word. But if you remember the first graph here with the countries, it's more about what capitalism means and not the word. The word has an effect, but it's not only the word. Even if we don't use the word, you remember this, most people are anti-capitalist. Here, this is one of my favorite graphs. During the corona crisis, people talked a lot about conspiracy theories, and usually conspiracy theories are linked with right-wing thinking. And this is correct. You have this crazy, like in the United States, QAnon right-wing people who believe in conspiracy theories. But my hypothesis was that anti-capitalists are conspiracy thinkers. And how to prove it? In addition to all these questions about capitalism, we confronted our respondents with two typical statements for conspiracy theories. The one was, politicians decide almost nothing, they are only puppets of other forces in the background. And the next statement was, you can only understand politics if you know that everything is according to a secret plan that most of the people don't know. And people who agreed with these both statements, we call them conspiracy thinkers. And then we linked it to the other questions about capitalism, and I remember I had a presentation here with you in Sweden when I got the first results on my iPhone, and I was so surprised and fascinated because it happens not very often that a hypothesis is proved in such a clear, crystal clear way. This time it were not so many countries, now we have 19, and you see, don't look here to compare the countries, this is not important. Compare the left dark bar with the right bright bar. The left dark bar are the anti-capitalists and the right bar are the pro-capitalists. And you see, in every of these 19 countries, anti-capitalists were more in favor of conspiracy theories than pro-capitalists. Of course, they think these are the super rich and the lobbyists and so on. They don't call it conspiracy theory, but I call anti-capitalism a conspiracy theory. And it's proved exactly by these numbers. The only country where we have not such a big difference is the United States. You see, even in the United States, pro-capitalists are less in favor of conspiracy theory than anti-capitalists, but you have more pro-capitalists. I think these are maybe Trump supporters who think capitalism is a good thing, but QAnon is also okay, and something like this. And here is another result. This is a book that was also published in the results of the first slides you can find in a book that is now only published in Germany, but it will be published in 30 different languages, 30 different languages, of course, also in Swedish. And these are the results from another study, a survey. The book was published by Cato Institute, The Rich in Public Opinion. It's also published in a lot of other languages. Next month it will be published even in Vietnam and in China. In Sweden, of course, too. This was about the attitude towards rich people, and we calculated something that we called the social envy coefficient. You can find the results even in a paper that I wrote for Economic Affairs. If you Google my name at Economic Affairs, there are last June and the June before and next June there are 3 different papers about the results of these studies. And here you see the most envious people are in France. Of course, this was at the same time the country, one of the most anti-capitalist countries, followed by Germany. And you see people here in Japan, South Korea, and in these Asian countries, they are not so envious against rich people. And to link it with the question of taxes, there was one question about, there were some questions about taxes, but one was very important. We confronted our respondents with 2 different statements. The first statement was taxes for millionaires should be high, but not too high. Question number 1. Question number 2, taxes for millionaires should not only be high, but very high. So, and we asked people, would you prefer statement 1 or 2? And so the only countries where we had more people who said taxes should be high but not too high was Sweden and Vietnam. Sweden and Vietnam and all other countries, people were of the opinion taxes should not only be high, especially in France. There was an extreme majority of people who said taxes should, even from the people with the highest income, even from the people with the highest income in France, big majority, I think it was like more than 60%, were in favor of not only high taxes, but very high taxes. So this is, okay, this is another book, The Power of Capitalism, but this is on the left hand, this is the book in Sweden. The title here is like Scapegoats and or Role Models. The English title is The Rich in Public Opinion. So thank you. Yeah.